Hey guys, this is Denny from TeaDB, bringing you guys another InBetweenIsode, InBetweenIsode number 2. This is going to be a quick tasting of a tea that we have so many teas that we get through the show, and I wanted to give this a blind tasting. This is from Classico. They're a company based out of Israel. They sent over some really interesting stuff. I've been really curious about Phoenix Oolongs and what I guess are also called Orchid Oolongs. And so this is an aged Orchid Oolong from 2010. And I tried to do some research on it. It's the Song Zong Zilan Shin. That's totally mispronounced, I'm sure. But we're going to open this up and give it a go. So my experience has been that these teas, these oolongs, are very unique, and that they're very aromatic, and they, oh my goodness, and they have a very dark roast on them. So we're going to open this up and pour some of this out here, and I will take the camera. So these are twisted oolongs. We don't want to use too much here because my experience has been that these can tend to get a little bitter. And because we're going to do flash brew style and go straight off with the boil, we'll find out. So we're going to do a quick rinse here, get all of our stuff a little bit heated up, spilling everywhere. So you can see, based on the sediment and kind of the bubbles and so forth, that that this tea, as many teas are, is a little bit dirty. No big deal. Let's give it a smell. Wow. Oh my goodness. So it's super perfumey, fruit, a little bit of a roast. Wow. Almost like fake Starburst fruity flavors. Really tropical fruits. Papaya. Really, like a really wonderful honey sweetness. Kind of like almost like honeysuckle, so like a little bit of that sort of perfumey, flowery. Smells incredible. So this is definitely a dark roasted oolong, and I'm gonna give it a minute. And when I say a minute, I always actually mean about 10 seconds. Alright, and I'm gonna put the camera down, and we're gonna try this on together. Okay, so one of the things that I've experienced about Phoenix oolongs is that they have a very almost purple looking liqueur, and I'll go ahead and bring this over in a second. Not the strongest nose, but a lot more honey on the nose, and that's going to definitely improve. It looks like, because of the green, it actually looks like this tea is not nearly as roasted as I've usually seen Orchid Oolong teas, and it looks like it's fairly fermented. So one of the things that I try to do with twisted, high fermented oolongs is not brew them for too long, because they can get a little bit sour, a little bit bitter. So let's give this a shot. So much closer to a wooey, surprisingly, in that rock taste, minerally, not getting a lot of the sweetness, not getting a lot of the fruit. Something kind of a third of the way through that's plums. Definitely stone fruits. The sweetness that I was talking about and referencing earlier is not here at all. It's actually far more flat, I'd say, and minerally. It's got a nice mouthfeel. Oh, wow. And about 3/4 of the way through, that aromatic honeysuckle perfume experience is really kind of builds, and almost leaving my mouth with a little bit of this kind of menthol aftertaste, a little bit almost cooling. So we're going to dump that out and give this the second steeping here. And I don't know if you guys can see, but the actual liquid almost has a purple to it. I'm not sure if you guys can see that or not. Let me get out here. So it's hard to show up here on camera, but we're getting a little bit of the lens fog in there. But there's almost this kind of like hint of purple, and unfortunately the lighting's a little bit red here, but so we can dive in here a little bit. So you can really see the green that I'm talking about, as opposed to kind of a deeper, blacker, darker roast. Okay, so let's go ahead and give this a shot. Definitely has more of a nose now. Oh my goodness. So the aroma of these oolongs in particular is just outstanding. And it's funny, I'm not necessarily in love with the taste yet, but I think that a novice tea drinker would smell this in a tea shop or brought to a brewing session and just think, oh my goodness, I have to pick that up. And both experiences of the nose, the experience of smelling something, of it wafting and filling up a room, is just as important in some sense as the flavor. But it's about your personal preference. So if you like the ambiance of having those smells come out, this is a great tea. But it's not necessarily going to deliver the best flavor profile, necessarily. You know, and I think, speaking to that wooey observation I had earlier, it really is hinting at the age, I think, more than anything. That sort of mineral blunted experience that I continue to talk about with aged teas is definitely prevalent here. What's interesting, though, is that there's a lot of complexity in the later aspects of the tea itself. So let's give this another go. This is brewed for probably about, I want to say, 10 seconds. And I have no idea how much leaf I'm using. I'm definitely underdoing the leaf on this, and I think it's actually working pretty well. So let's give it a shot. Cheers. Much nicer, much more balanced, and a much broader start to the flavor profile. Not getting a lot of the fruit that I was expecting, and that what you definitely smell. You know, interestingly enough, this is getting traditional medium and darker roast Taiwanese oolong flavors, actually. So, not super nutty, but there's something kind of Dongding-esque about this. Wonderfully balanced. Almost a white tea finish. Very delicate. Wonderful viscosity and mouthfeel. Zero tannins. And, you know, I think this is speaking to a good quality Phoenix oolong, because I actually haven't had something that wasn't kind of hitting me in the face too hard. I want to say there's something almost vanilla-y about the front of this. And that middle form is really where the age is coming out, and then it finishes with this sort of sweet honeysuckle white tea kind of flavor. Really nice. I think this is a tea that's not as accessible as some of the other teas that we've brought into the show. That being said, I think it's really interesting. If you folks want to give it a shot, I would recommend it. Classico is a great company, and I'm super appreciative for them sending us this stuff. give it another shot. You know what's so striking about this is that it's subtle, it's light, it's balanced. It's not the most intense or potent in terms of its flavor, which is very contrasted so much against its nose, which is just the smelliest thing ever. So perfumey. It's incredible. So this has been episode InBetweenIsode number 2. I hope you guys like it. Shoot me some comments in the sections below, and check us out on TeaDB.org to find more episodes, both full length and in between episodes like this. And we'll see you guys next time. Cheers.